on the blue side for the first time all series long. Similar bans being levied. Orianna been banned out constantly. Skarner as well. The Nocturne and Yone. Pretty common tropes. Jace as well. Not much switched up, and that makes it more fun for the picks because with Fearless, we know we got to see some new things in. Corki, the immediate B1. Some flexibility there, Cubby, but expecting it going likely towards light in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and frankly, that's a pick that I'm a little bit surprised we just have had no presence of so far. I know that the Ashe Varus handshakes have been, we're kind of used to seeing that against the Corki. Maybe new patch, we just don't have Corki being played or prioed as much. As I will say, going through the champions that have been picked so far, it does really feel like the Ashe Varus do get the first nods. But yeah, that being said, of course, it is Fearless Draft. You get further down the rabbit hole of what's played, what's available, and definitely seeing a little bit of a switch up here with that Corki being picked up. And Ultra Prime, you already played that Braum. You can't play that one again. So it will be the Leona for RosieLove.
Oh boy, here we go. RosieLove. It's time to beat the demons. All right, that Leona Flash Engage is burned into my brain. Let's replace it with some new memories and get rid of that Demacia Cup play. I like the little Zyra hover as well. That's been frequently banned away from Junhao. So we'll see if he wants to play it. Still kind of powerful. Obviously not the AP Zyra in the jungle that everybody was terrified of about a year's time ago.
Yeah, I think that with the Xin being picked up, especially with that Jax.
I missed a jungler being locked in R1.
Hang on, there was a Xin Zhao top, so I'm helping you out here. We're trying to give you some points.
I definitely lost draft points right there by not noticing.
No, don't worry about it. Just talk about Xin Zhao top, which is not playable against Jax, as we actually saw Jax jungle being played into Xin jungle last split. Very popular matchup over in the LEC. Will be Gragas picked up, so that soft counter, the neutralizer to breathe in the top side. Breathe, fantastic Jax player, though, so do like the start that we have for Weibo in this draft already. Sejuani
going to be the first ban away for Ultra Prime, as they're taking away some tank ability that could come in for Weibo. Likely only going to be in that jungle from now on, unless Xiaohu wants to get real creative with his champion pool. The Rakan, definitely want to pair somebody with him to dive through with those charms, because definitely going to be one of the squishier supports. You can't just get away with that grand entrance into the charms. There's a lot of ways to interrupt it, especially with the Leona, the knock away from a Xin Zhao, and like you mentioned, the Gragas. So I like this from Ultra Prime, trying to take away buddies like we've been talking about all series long, Cubby, for that jungle support synergy we're looking for.
Yeah, and again, that really has been the story of the series. We're coming in, we were flying bad clips of Junhao and RosieLove playing in Demacia Cup. Like, they were just not synced up, not together at all. Whereas we saw really good things out of Tian and Hong and their run in Demacia Cup and their series even earlier on against OMG. Today it's been Junhao and RosieLove, especially in that last game. Fantastic. The Pop Blossoms were top tier from RosieLove. So we'll see if that can continue, because for us, that's really the hopes of Ultra Prime. Like, Wonjung was someone that was really promising in the PCS in his first split. We've seen Wako compete on the international stage. Pretty serviceable AD carry that's hoping to make some waves now in LPL. So it's really, if these guys can have good setup around players that we've seen have success in regions like the PCS, that's really where the hopes are riding for Ultra Prime in this split.
AD carry pool's been pretty heavily pinched by Weibo, so Wako's going to land on the Ezreal. A lot of self-peel, a lot of self-protection, lacking a little bit in
another one?
Damage. Oh, another Pantheon jungle. All right, that's
well,
two in a week.
Is it jungle? Because wasn't the last Pantheon played top? And
no, the one I saw from JJ was jungle for
okay,
LG.
Yeah, okay, that's jungle. So it's funny because I was talking about this champ for like emerging and fearless, because we had some teams in NACL that played a lot of Pantheon. I thought it could have snuck in top. I'm still really curious, just because I mentioned the Xin Zhao versus Jax matchup earlier. Jax has a very positive matchup in the Xin Zhao in the jungle. Xin's auto attack damage base. Jax always pretty good against that with a dodge. I'm wondering if it's Panth into Gragas, because you can blow up Gragas really early on in the lane phase, and you kind of force a tank Gragas, because if you go for the tier, the catalyst, like the Roa, that kind of build, it's too slow for Pantheon. So I think it's going to be Tian Pantheon. It is a special for Tian way back when, but I'm just interested to see how this shakes out. I'm hopeful.
Hopeful indeed. Talia going to be the R5 pick here for Junhao. Okay. So that has been, I've heard whispers that, oh, excuse me, for Saber. I forgot. I keep forgetting this Junhao.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that Talia is pretty potent on this patch from a couple of reliable sources in the NA scene.
Okay, I like that. We'll say that with the earlier buff being spawned and some of the feats of strength, the just brute force push you get from Talia earlier on, I could see that being a little bit valuable, like pretty valuable. I know win rates haven't moved a lot, but you for sure get some more power if you get wins earlier on in the game. So yeah, that's going to be the pick, and we'll see what that Talia can do in terms of impact in the map. Gotta say, Saber, not been a great performer for Ultra Prime in the first 2 games, so hopefully this is a champ where he can really pick things back up. And it is a matchup that I don't think is the best for Talia, so he's going to need some help from RosieLove and Junhao to get involved in the mid lane or really take advantage of Talia, because once you get 6 as Ahri, really positive matchup against Talia, able to match some of the push, and then, of course, that mobility from the Spirit Rush gets you out of those Talia combos.
I'm just looking for Talia to utilize those slipping stones like you're talking about, because it can be tough for the Ahri, but you've got dashes that will cause stuns from the Pantheon, the Jax, the Rakan, and the Ahri like you're talking about. So those slipping stones could really help turn some of these fights. And in fights that have been as close and tough in this series, those little things, move a mile.
Yeah, I that's a great read. Obviously, Talia, I don't love the individual lane matchup. You cannot question the power that Talia brings to the comp and also to the game. Just ability to go impact other lanes. So we'll see if Saber can successfully do so.
As we successfully transition on to the Rift for a 3rd time. Game number 3. You can hear the LPL fans sticking true to their nature, excited, even more so now that we are 1 apiece. Ultra Prime trying to continue what has been a upset, I wouldn't say upset heavy, but pretty upset oriented start to this LPL split.
I mean, Demacia Cup was interesting. We've really lacked upsets so far in outside of Thunder Talk, of course. Can't disrespect TT, but yeah, we'll see if Ultra Prime can actually make a big one happen. Again, really shake this group up if this goes through, as at the moment, they will be spotted a nice, clever ward being dropped. Oh, I that didn't spot RosieLove. Okay. I like that ward, though, because if you do cross to place the ward in the brush for Raptors, that would have been spotted. And you do, it looks to be a lane swap scenario emerging here for Weibo. I do like this setup. I think that the Corki Rakan, you can push around Ezreal Leona very early. I'm trying to work through this matchup in my head. In the new season, Ezreal has range advantage. Leona can kind of cancel Rakan, but you can sustain usually. I will say, though, that in the lane swap scenario, I think that the Jax's ability to get some XP here versus the Gragas, very much favorable for the Jax. You can see Breathe using the Counter-Strike to try and make sure he's in XP range for these first 3 melee creeps that will drop. He gets them successfully, whereas Wonjung's yet to get... oh, actually, he was able to cheese some XP. Surprisingly so. They did increase the XP range this patch by 100 units. And I'm wondering if that was enough to get Wonjung the melee creeps he did, because he was sitting in that tri-brush. I thought he was zoned off, but he actually picked up the XP. That's... I'd be really curious to actually watch that back and see where he was to make sure he gets the XP, because it could be a huge change to lane swaps. You can actually pick up the XP from the tri-brush.
Could do big things. Got to look earlier at a lot of these rune choices coming across. I'm going to flex my Ezreal OTP muscles here. Like Wako going with the PTA instead of the Conqueror into a comp that's a lot more squishy, allow you to burst a lot more, and you kind of need to lean into that earlier damage, as Ultra Prime are a team that do get kind of disgustingly outscaled. I feel it everywhere except maybe jungle.
Side lane's going to be hard for them later on against the Ahri and the Jax. Also the Panth, just to force that. Yeah, I think they do get outscaled. I'm with you on this. Ezreal's like the one hope, and Gragas is just really like the soft counter to try and split things up in fights. But overall, yeah, I do like Weibo's draft.
Tian sets up the charm well through Saber's flash. Xiaohu positions it perfectly, and the one tried and true thing through 3 games so far, Xiaohu finding himself leads in mid lane.
Yeah, and can't get away from that point and click stun from the Pantheon. No stones able to even be put down by Saber. I don't know if they were on cooldown on the ground or not, but just couldn't react to that one in time. Will be first blood going over.
Tian got that. That is a scuttle
Junhao's
for
in
Tian, and now Junhao just might be dead here. Charm full combo. Xiaohu expertly flashes over the seismic shove to grant that second kill for himself. Saber trying to throw those stones back out to get Tian very low, running out of damage though. Can he cut down the angle in time? Tian does not have the right turret to go back to, so Saber will find himself a trade, but Xiaohu 2-0 in a pivotal game for Weibo.
I mean, this Ahri really has the potential to be big now, because if you get ahead on Ahri early on, if you get the AP breakpoint to, you know, kill those mage creeps at 7, you take away the Talia's power to shove that she has early on, and then you can start to move first against Talia, can really shake up the game, especially when you pair that with a Pantheon. Once you get 6, able to attack the side lanes. Really nice start here for Xiaohu in the mid lane, as Wanzhong
might just get his health bar completely demolished. Does have to burn the flash, so praised him for his ability to sneakily grab XP
that
in
hurts.
some avenues.
He's down TP, so that's a tempo killer for him.
Saber's just dead.
Yep.
Wow. Rough. Gets rougher for Saber.
Yeah, it's not been a good series for Saber so far. He has been outmatched in this mid lane, and with Tian coming to help on out, not much that he can do here, as, man, that's going down twice. That's expensive, and this time the kill going over to the Pantheon. Not bad.
Not bad, to the tune of near about 1,400 gold lead, as Wanzhong will return to his lane counterpart, Breathe. All right, we're getting fancy with the proxy tech. Unfortunately for him, Junhao is right here, so it can really make it difficult to hold this.
But if they show onto Breathe, that means the grubs are pretty much gone, because it would be too much time for Junhao to get back. I think that's the bet that Breathe's taking, and we'll see if he can get out.
Yeah, he's really risking it. Flashed for it all. Counter-strike up. Gonna get the stun. Hop back over to his pink ward. He's just buying time here. He does get Saber to swing over as well, as Junhao gets the kill. Like you pointed out, Cubby opens up the grubs for free for Tian. Oh, grand entrance knockup from Hong. RosieLove should be safe.
Hong just looking for the poke damage course on Rakan. Those Qs, you can sustain back most of the health that you end up taking, as Q's rather nice 1.1 durability on the Rakan, and making sure that they get the top side prio will be the free first grubs going over to Weibo. This is matched by the dragon being taken by Junhao.
So big grand entrance knockup. RosieLove wants the smoke though, goes right back in onto Hong. Unite dropped, both supports limping away.
Still objectives going to be taken. It is Tian that's first on the play, with that chunk being up towards the top lane too. Tian can look to dive. Pantheon so strong in this early game with that point and click stun and the damage you get, especially from that passive. A lot of pressure being put down onto Wako, and those first 3 grubs already being put to use, as that's 4 plates off the top lane turret. A lot of gold in Light's pockets.
Weibo Gaming are a turret plate's worst nightmare in this series, man. I mean, they got perfect 15 last time, and they're on track to get and lost. That's true, actually. You know what? That's a statistic I'd like to see.
Yeah.
How many times do you watch a team that gets 15 of the 15 turret plates lose?
I'm not sure. That's hard to do with again, the last game. Like, from a macro standpoint, that game was disgusting, but also fascinating, just because it's the new patch. We got to see some really interesting decisions being made around some of the epic monsters and what's being secured. So, yeah, that definitely one that might be curious to go back through and see what was good or bad.
But what is interesting in this game with the new season that I want to point out, Cubby, is that with all that turret damage, because Weibo grabbed first blood this time around, they could get some of the earliest. They could get feats of strength here before a majority of their members even buy those tier 2 boots with how low that top tier 1 turret is.
Yeah, true. I mean, this thing's falling. You can see the swap being forced. Or the hand for Ultra Prime, it's forced. They have to keep on swapping into this, right? You cannot put Wanzhong up here. And this is where I think the trade they had on the Wanzhong that stopped him up top. Like, they got that wave in for free. Ultra Prime were not quick enough to respond to that initial swap, and then Wanzhong lost resources down to the bot lane too. Of course, Breathe overextended on that one. Also, Breathe as a tier, is there some Jax tech that I'm just not familiar with right now? Yeah, this is okay. This is interesting. We might have to second monitor this one, Slayer. We're going to do some live updates here on the
yeah, I mean, are you trying to go Thimble? It's Thimble Winter, right? That's what I assume Wuzhong is gonna burn. I actually see he's also burned his Flash up against Breathe.
Yeah.
So we'll have to monitor that one. As both bottom lanes are still shrugging it out here. Wako and RosieLove forced back though, as RosieLove takes a bit of a chunk engage.
No, so Wuzhong has the option between both.
Oh, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Tian, I mean, it's rinse and repeat, deja vu, however you want to describe it. Tian and Xiaohu have marked Saber for death over and over again.
At point and click for the charm is rather charming, but I say so myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right. Ultimates. True Shot Barrage hits 2 there from Wako. Is RosieLove forced to flash away from a good Hong engage. Wako trying to dodge around these rockets, but Light a lot more healthy, and this might just be those feats of strength coming down. How much do Ultra Prime want to sacrifice just to keep those away from Weibo? Because those health bars are blinking. RosieLove and Wako, I don't know if you can stay here.
They can't, but Saber has ult. He's trying to make his way up, but this is a Demolish coming through. That should pretty much be the turret.
Oh.
We'll see if Saber wants to pop the R, as, yeah, the Grubs end up knocking it down in the end. That's first brick and feats of strength. Secured for Weibo. And Saber doesn't feel confident enough to go in here, and he's spotted out now. So, yeah, I mean, Ultra Prime continue to really fall behind in this one. And this Ahri Pantheon combo is not being navigated very well by Saber in Ultra Prime. It's been a fast start here for Weibo.
So fast that they only have one member with the gold allocation for their items that actually gets the tier 2 upgrade bits. It's just Hong. Everybody else has their tier 1 boots right now, as you normally would. Breathe just bought his.
Breathe got it. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, but that was after it was taken.
A post-mortem.
So.
Yeah, it was post-mortem, you know. Post feats of strength mortem. Anyway, I don't think that's how that works, but we'll figure that out later. I'm speaking of figured out later, what is this tier going for towards for Jax? Is it Fimbulwinter Jax? Or like, what is going on here?
There's a lot of AP that, you know, he can block off here.
I mean, it's interesting. That said, Grubs are being taken. Probably focus on this.
Ooh, RosieLove. There's a good solar flare. Tian tries to use his shield to block a ton of damage, but snap engage from Ultra Prime will stop. Too many mites coming out from Weibo Gaming. They'll only have 1, 4-2 on the Grub split. Charm gonna land there from Xiaohu.
Yeah. I mean, it still is a really good scenario here for Weibo. Like, yes, Tian goes down, but Breed gets all this free time on the bot turret. They had top shoved in, so Saber has to respond. And Weibo, even though they don't get all the grubs, they lose someone, the pressure's still on. They're playing out their grub advantage well by pressuring 2 lanes.
Xiaohu at it again. He is vicious on this Ahri. You could just feel Weibo are angry for dropping that game 2 the way they have piloted this early game.
I don't really know what Ultra Prime does here, like what their game plan is. 'Cause for me, like the way this comp gets going is you play through mid, you try and get the Talia freed up with his in, and then you can go make plays on side lanes quickly. But Tian Xiaohu just shut that down so early in the game. And now you're just kind of left to, okay, we're down Grubs, we're down Prio in multiple sides when you're going up against a Jax and Ahri that's this far ahead. And the Corki is still able to kind of walk up and thwack you in the face with a Gatling gun and all the damage that he packs in his kit early, especially as he's close to being on his way towards that Triforce. It really feels like Ultra Prime. Like, I don't know how they play their way out of this game. They got to look for picks, look for something, and so far it's not a good start.
They're going after Breathe with RosieLove, trying to cut down the angle. Good flash from Breathe before RosieLove can get the stun, as the Zenith Blade would have taken him under turret. Ultra Prime just thinking, overloading bot lane, playing towards that side of the map. It will get them a start onto this Infernal Drake. Junhao's got it pretty low. Hong finds it out. Light coming over. This could cost Ultra Prime. They'll secure the Dragon, but their flank is being covered, and Xiaohu is coming in for more kills. First one down on Junhao. RosieLove should be next to fall. Knock up from Hong, and boy, did that Dragon cost Ultra Prime. It might cost them even more here with Wuzhong.
Yeah, he does have flash. No ult, though, and Xiaohu still 3 charges of ult, using them well.
I mean, it's precision execution after precision execution for Tian and Xiaohu. 8 kills, 4K gold lead and more for Weibo.
This is one way to get a mid-jungle duo rolling, you know? Spent a lot of time talking about jungle support in this series, Slayer. About time that we get some mid-jungle. That duo some recognition as Tian and Xiaohu making the most of it. Of course, Tian being that new addition for Weibo with Tarzan and finding his way on anyone's legends for this one. And Tian has just done nothing but excellent things in terms of punishing Saber, getting Xiaohu ahead. And it doesn't feel like Weibo is going to be looking back in this one, Slayer. I think this one's gotten a little bit too quickly out of control. And I just, again, don't know how Ultra Prime play their way back into this one. They need time to scale with items. They need time to scale with champions. Then they do not outscale Weibo, who are already very far ahead and will have all the side lane pressure in the world as this game continues.
Weibo's mid-jungle duo is the holders of all 8 of their early game kills, if you're talking kill participation.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Even despite maybe a more active early game in the kill count, still getting Voracious Atacon, Revive Atacon. Ruinous Atacon just does not exist in this league.
Now, we need the GAs. It's LPL, man, you know?
I'm with it. I mean, hey, more fights for me to beat a cast, right?
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Think it right, you know?
Well, it'd be interesting to see if we get any more interesting macro decisions being made around this Atacon. As I will say with the last one, couple of interesting, you know, trades that we haven't exactly seen. Dropping Atacon to take turrets, to drop Rift Heralds. See if that ends up being the case again this time around.
Cubby, we've got incoming updates from the Breathe build camp. I think this is just like a pure tank Jax. Is that a...
Oh, man, he took a page out of Flanders, man. This is... Tank Jace has expanded the Tank Jax.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What if they've massacred my boy?
You know what? Sometimes they just have to do that to our boys, sadly.
Oh, first Weaver's Wall of the game from Saber. Seismic shove onto Hong, but he's safe. The Weaver's Wall betrays Saber at the end of the day. He just doesn't get anything for that first ultimate.
Yeah, I really don't know why we ended up going for Tank Jax here. I mean, we can't really kill Jax anyway, is my theory. I will say the Frozen Fist is going to make things... I mean, they're going to be pretty sticky. If you are Weibo chasing things down, I just don't know how necessary this was. I'm expecting a Fimbulwinter now after that showing, and Fimbulwinter is a really strong item. I think Fimbulwinter is really, really good. So good to see some people putting that in their build path, but I don't know if we need to do it on Jax.
Ooh, Hong caught by another Seismic shove. Good engage from RosieLove, but they just don't have enough juice in the tank, and now the Weibo turn comes out. Junhao does block Xiaohu's charm through the Crescent Guard, but they are not winning the health bar battle, and here comes the Grand Starfall. Tian is flying on in, and RosieLove's down. Wako has to cleanse one stun, kite himself back, but they leave Saber to the wasteland. Kill secured by Light. Ultra Prime are scattered, and there is just no way for them to find rhythm in this one.
Yeah, Rift Herald should be secured here for Weibo afterwards as a return to form after dropping the last game to Ultra Prime, and in decisive fashion, as Weibo, I would say, doing some styling in this game 3. If it wasn't Fearless Draft, it would for sure be styling. But since Fearless format, minor styling. I mean, Tian's just been a beast in this one. There's really not much else to say. Mid got so out of control that it really funneled into the rest of the map, and Ultra Prime had not had great responses. Hung, yeah, he's like kind of caught here, but you still have ult, so he just walks on out. The TP from One Jung is a little bit late, and then with how far behind you are, Tian just gets to open up a beautiful Grand Starfall.
Shot barrage means nothing. I mean, RosieLove falls for a second time, and Weibo, I think they're starting to limit tests here a bit as you see Hong get caught going a little too far forward, but Weibo still have control of mid lane and that bottom quadrant jungle as they continue to stack advantages in gold and neutral objectives. Ultra Prime looking for a bit of a bite back here. Xiaohu forced to use his quickness, or Spirit Rush, excuse me, to get away from that Seismic shove.
That'll do. Now, I'm kind of curious, they're actually hitting the dragon.
Ooh, Weaver's Wall. It's going to trap Tian, but I don't think Saber wants that smoke. Once again, they just can't really go for these engages. Ultra Prime are too far behind, and it's allowing for Weibo to just sit back, relax, and claim kill after kill. Next one going to be Wako as he's bopped by the Jax. with the frozen fists. Wonjong dodging away from these rockets. He'll escape, but it's another win for Weibo. It's been all wins for Weibo in this game 3.
Yeah, again, Ultra, I'm looking at this dragon like, okay, we're hitting this, we're starting this. We sent the support back to base, and that's what we're gonna go off of. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the state of the game that Ultra Prime's in. They're forced to make bad decisions because things are not getting better for them, and things only continue to get better for Weibo as they are too far ahead for Ultra Prime to be taking the fights where they are too far behind. So top inner about to fall. Bot inner does fall, and yeah, again. Like, Hong is in base. RosieLove does have some prio, but Saber just walks right into Tian, who presses W, gets help from his buddy Xiaohu, who he set up for the entire game, and says, nice ult, buddy. Thanks for hopping in. Gets to take him down for free, and not much that Ultra Prime can do from there.
Thank you for cutting down the range on my stun, and see you later. To the tune of a dragon, a couple of kills. Ultra Prime's one fleeting hope was maybe stacking those Drakes for another Mountain Soul. That has been vanquished, and they have no real estate to really operate in, and I'm just excited to see how far Xiaohu's going to push his kit here. He's got a fully stacked Dark Seal, 2 items of the Lich Bane done already. He could really pump out ludicrous damage.
Yeah, I will say I do like the Lich Bane and also the stacked up Dark Seal on Ahri a lot. I think Lich Bane, we saw Faker using it at Worlds. It's an item that for me is kind of slept on when it comes to Ahri, but its use case is when you are up against squishies and that bonus, like you're able to weave in autos, but also that bonus move speed can just help you out that wee bit. Because if you do squeeze in the autos between your abilities with the Lich Bane, it does really up the DPS on Ahri, and I think it's a really good game to do it. Not just given how far ahead Xiaohu is, but also given the drafts of the comp.
And the split push ability of Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, that helps too. That's always nice too.
I'm curious to see here as Ultra Prime are as far behind as they've always been. I'll have to hold that point as we have another grand Starfall. Tian doesn't get stunned up by the Solar Flare and then jumps back in, layering the stuns here. True Shot Barrage rakes across Weibo, taking a ton of damage, but they're able to prevail, and who else but Xiaohu just eviscerating the entire line created by Ultra Prime, and that's a clean as an ace, and the man himself who did it for Weibo Gaming.
All right, Tian MVP or Xiaohu MVP?
I mean, it's 1,000% Xiaohu, and
I'm sad for Tian. I feel like I gotta give it to Tian based on the Pantheon, and that's it. Like, this guy picked Pantheon and just went full Pantheon mode as he just destroyed mid and destroyed the game, and Weibo destroyed the base of Ultra Prime before the new Baron could even spawn. Dominating win from them.
21.5 minutes, all that's needed, nearly half the time Weibo took in their Game 1 victory. And all I gotta say to that MVP talk from you, Cubby, is I didn't see them flash Tian full screen while the league game was still going, man. So I think this one's done.
Yeah, sadly, it's probably gonna go over to Xiaohu, but Matt, I gotta say, really, really good look coming out yet again from Weibo, and good to see Tian. I felt like he was okay in the last game that he dropped on the Lee Sin, but man, sticking to that early aggression, taking out a pick like the Pantheon that is a pick that's seeing some play in the Fearless format. Looked really good that game. So nice to see some of the unique picks not only emerging, but also being used to great success by these players. Saber just did not respect the first timer the Panth could have been there. Not positioned, not ready for it. And man, they really blew up that Talia in that landing phase. We talked about it at the start of this one. What we, for just the future of Weibo, what we want to see from them is, you know, what you're going to get from you know, guys like Xiaohu, guys like Light, but we want to see Weibo start off quicker and early. Well, they finally accomplished that goal, and it looked blistering. 21.5 minutes. That is a way to answer after Ultra Prime punched you in the mouth. Weibo now much more in control. But we're 3 games deep now into this best of 5, and we're going to take a bit of extra time to get some rest here, rehydrate, and prep ourselves for what could be a climactic finish. We'll be back after a bit of an extended break here to check out the obvious Xiaohu MVP pick and the post-game that Ultra Prime fans are going to look away from. We'll see you in a few.